Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I missed y'all. Welcome to the Budget Affair. My name is Caitlin, and thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to talk about how I create financial safety in my life. I'm going to give you my 3 tips on how I do that and why I do those things. And if anything resonates with you, feel free to take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, girl? Because look, ain't no formula to this life stuff, okay? We all in here trying to figure it out. And I'm just sort of sharing what has worked for me for like the past 9 months. So I have my notes here. I might look down, I might not. I might edit those parts out. But either way, I got some notes, okay? I have water. This is not wine. This is not Winnie. This is not Patron. This is not Sprite. This is just water. As a single mother, you know how important it is to prepare for the unexpected. I might insert a picture of one day my sister bought my son some new shoes and he went to daycare. That same day I picked him up and those shoes were busted and crusted, okay? Things happen, right? What really made me start budgeting and managing my money in this way is back last November 2019, my car broke down out the blue and I literally had to rob Peter to pay Paul. The amount that it cost to get my car fixed was about $550, right? And so I've done it before to where I had to sort of move funds around and, I had to sort of sacrifice and really make a way out of no way, so to speak. I've done that before. But in this particular time, I don't know, it just dawned on me. I guess maybe I just never had a moment like that since I've become a single mother. I've never had a moment to where I had to literally, live off of $100 for 2 weeks. I hadn't had that moment. Now I did have little instances where I would run out of money and like in the past, my son is like way out of diapers now, but this is just an example. So like I would have to like ask my sister for money for diapers, those things, and I wasn't able to because I spent my money, kind of crazy. So, fast forward back to the actual point that I was trying to make. I suddenly started this budgeting method after that incident with my car because I felt so fed up with the way I was spending my money, the way that I was managing my money. There was no way, absolutely no way, I should have struggled the way that I did to pay for my car because of my circumstances, because of how blessed I've been financially, because of my, how supportive my family and my friends have been. I just sat with myself for a moment and I'm just like, this is unacceptable. So I sat down with myself for some time and I tried everything from Dave Ramsey to giving my mother my money, to giving my sister my money, to hiding my money, freezing my money in like Coke bottles and stuff. And, just trying to figure out ways to control myself when it came to my money. And so I don't know, like I just sat down with myself and I prayed and I was like, God, like I really need you to help me manage my money. And I really would like to create financial safety in my life. And so I started to dig a little deeper into what does financial safety mean? What does that even feel like? Like, what would that look like in my life if I was financially safe? And God always gives us the things that we need when we need it. And so I don't know where I got this from, but I was listening to somebody or I heard something somewhere where someone said, wealthy people are wealthy because they know how to keep their money. Now, I do believe that I have a long way before I'm like truly like wealthy, okay? But that just really resonated with me and it stuck with me. And it was like, dang, like wealthy people know how to keep their money. They're not always spending money, they're not always giving money away or just, just because or allowing their money to burn a hole in their pocket. Wealthy people actually keep their money. So, on a smaller scale, I began to think, okay, how can I create that in my life? How can I be more like a wealthy person who keeps their money? So, I found 3 things that I do that allows me to create that financial security, that feeling of financial safety in my life, and, sort of act like how wealthy people act, keep my money. So my first tip to you guys is to build and keep an emergency fund. Now, I know you probably hear that often, right? Like everybody and their mama always talking about some emergency fund, okay? So me personally, I'm able to keep mine at $1,000, and that didn't come easy. I struggled for so long trying to maintain my emergency fund, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I'm a little, trifling girl. I would like literally build it up and then spend it, you know what I'm saying? And have to rebuild it up. And one of the reasons why I would do that is because there was no clear boundary when it came to my emergency fund, okay? There's a difference between an inconvenience and an emergency. And that is something that you would have to define on your own. But for me, I noticed that an inconvenience is something that happens to where I have to move funds around that I've already budgeted, right? I have to move those funds around in order to cover that unexpected expense. So if I'm able to pay all of my bills, and from my disposable income, like if I already sort of planned it out, my disposable income, if I've already planned that out, if I'm able to use that, like take all of that money and cover that unexpected expense, that's an inconvenience. So for example, when my son first started school, he had an after school program. Now I have to go to work, so he has to go to the after school program, but I didn't know that, that program actually costs. Like I just thought that, he would go, but turns out it costs. And so when that came up, I was able to move some funds around. It came up, it was an unexpected expense. It had to be paid, but I was able to move some funds around in order to get that pay. I didn't have to touch my emergency fund. That was not necessarily an emergency. Now, almost a year ago, when my car broke down, that was an emergency. That was a large lump sum of money that I needed to pay unexpectedly in order to maintain my lifestyle, so to speak, right? So, like, in order for me to go to work to make more money, I needed my car. And in order for me to have my car, I needed to pay $500 in order to have my car. So, that was an emergency. So build and keep an emergency fund. Make that a priority and create clear boundaries around what to you is an inconvenience versus what's an emergency. Now, what's an inconvenience for me may not be an inconvenience for you. What's an emergency to you might not be an emergency to me. But it's up to you to sit down and be honest with yourself and say, okay, what is actually an emergency and what's an inconvenience, okay? I determined what was an emergency and an inconvenience for me. I started to see that inconveniences they're in my tax bracket, okay? There are things that I can afford, right? Like if I was to prepare for them, I can afford them, like those little inconveniences. So what I do, my second tip is to keep a cushion. So I don't know if you guys ever heard Myleik Teele is one of the people who I've heard say this, that her zero balance is 100 and like I don't know how much hers is, but anyway, like her zero balance isn't zero, it's like $50 or $100. So I keep mine at $150. And so you will see, like in my budgeting videos, that I accommodate that cushion, right? So once I write out my budget, you will see that I have a cushion category and I put that $150 there. So my cushion serves as a few things, right? Of course, it serves as that buffer between me having money and me going completely broke. Because again, like I said, I want to be able to keep money, right? I want to always be able to have money, even if I'm not spending that money, just to say that I have it. Just that to me is important, right? So the $150, it creates that buffer between me going broke and me having money. The second thing that it does is it also serves as that mini emergency fund. So just in case an inconvenience does come up that I didn't know, an unexpected inconvenience comes up, I'm able to cover it. I know that, oh, I have $150 just in my account that I can, pull from and use just in case something happens, because things happen. Example, maybe like a month or two ago, I ordered groceries from Walmart, and it was crazy because they had never double charged me. Like, that was maybe like my fourth or fifth time ordering groceries from them, and they had never charged me. And so this particular time they double charged me. So my total was like maybe $55, but they charged me $110. And that was just, I guess, their thing. I don't know, like a deposit or something like that. But I noticed that I wasn't panicky because I knew that I had my cushion there, and that money would come from there. Like, I didn't have to sacrifice anything in any other place. So I didn't feel distraught or unorganized or unprepared when that happened. So I was able to cover that inconvenient, unexpected expense because they bogus for that, okay? I don't know what that was about, but I was able to, cover it. So yes, the cushion serves as a mini emergency fund for those little small inconveniences. So my last tip to you all is to develop a habit of saving. Now, whether that's $5 or $10 or $20 or $100, whatever it is, develop that habit of saving, because you don't want to have these things in place. You don't want to have your cushion in place or your emergency fund in place and you use it and you have to build it back up and you feel uncomfortable doing that. Right? So that's what I do for me. I just save money. I try to save money. Like, wherever I can save money, I try to save money. Like last month I only saved $70. That was something, okay? I think this month I only saved maybe like $30 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always just trying to make that a way of living and make that a part of my portfolio, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? That's like, we're all doing that as people in this world, in this society. We live in a capitalistic society, so we have to deal with money, and why not deal with it in the best way that we know how? And I feel like these 3 tips that I've given, it doesn't matter what tax bracket you're in. You could be making 20,000, 40,000, 60,000. If you don't know how to manage your money, if you don't know how to keep your money, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to have any money. And that's what I told myself too. I said, I want to be able to build wealth. I'm not necessarily able to build wealth right now, but I know that I can, do certain things to help me get to that place. You know what I'm saying? So those are my 3 tips on how I create financial safety in my life. And like I said in the beginning, take what resonates with you and leave the rest at the buffet table, girl. This is your life. You know what I'm saying? You get to decide how you live and create your life. And so I'm just here sharing my journey and looking cute, girl. You know what I'm saying? But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at The Budget Affair. Bye.